I'm Chantal Johnson, and today I want to share with you the beginnings of a stitch sampler using Ann Butler's Faux quilting stamps in her Crafter's ink by Colorbox. This is going to be about a 4-part series from beginning to end, and we're going to be using a wonderful grid technique where we're going to create grids and spaces and fill that in with stitches and other embellishments. But before we get started, let's see what we need. First, you're going to need the inks by Ann Butler, and these are called Crafter's inks, and they work great on fabric and wood and more. They have to be heat set, but for fabric, we're totally fine with that because we'll press it afterwards. I chose to use the Canyon because it reminds me of the red work that is done by using DMC 347. You could also choose her Ocean Breeze or any of the other beautiful colors she has and coordinate your thread. Then you're going to need some of her faux quilting stamps. I've chosen to use the 3 small ones, and I've added it or adhered it to a acrylic block, and then I've chosen another one that has the beautiful design in there. You're also going to need your base of fabric. I like to use muslin. You could use a cotton or you could even use a denim or a twill, but make sure that your needles can go through. So muslin is a great choice. And then to create our grid, we're going to need a ruler, a mat, and a pencil or a micron pen. Now let me show you how we do the grid. So what I like to do is I took Ann's stamps, and on a big pad I started stamping to see if I liked it. This is the Ocean Breeze, and I decided I didn't want to do Ocean Breeze, and I looked at the different quilting stamps to see what I could do. The next one I did as a practice on paper, I combined the Canyon with another color and different stamps trying to create the grid. Thought it was too busy, but I liked this one right here. I liked that combination, and I loved the portion of this stamp. So I then took another grid and I used my ruler and my pencil, and I created what I thought I might like. I absolutely loved this one, and I loved this, but I thought this was too busy. And I'll show you how I ended up. And my grid didn't actually turn out the same way, but I had thought of something similar to this by doing the large stamp, repeating the smaller 3, creating a space in the middle where I'm going to add fabrics and buttons, and I'm going to do stitching down the side. So now let me show you how we place it on the grid. So what I've done is I've placed my piece of muslin, it's about a 9-inch square, onto my Ulfa cutting mat. And you can use any grid system that you have, and I have the corresponding ruler. Based on your design or what you would like to do, you're going to create your grid. So for the one that I'm going to be sharing with you, I've created a line at the top, and you can use a micron pen for this or a pencil. I'm choosing to use a pencil because the stitch that we're going to use on the solid lines is going to have a little bit of open work. So I just create the pencil line very faintly because I'm going to work with it, in a very short time. And then I continue creating the grid of choice. And so the one that will have 2 lines going at the cross, or going across, and then it's going to have 2 lines coming down. So once you create your grid, you're ready to stamp on your base of fabric. Just make sure that you've got a pad underneath so that the stamping will come out very legibly. You can use your ruler to create this the straight edge. So if you were to put the stamp here, you would have your ruler as the straight edge in both places. With the smaller one, sorry about reaching across there, the smaller one, you're going to also have the acrylic block, but you can use your ruler as a guide. And once you have your grid created, it's ready to be stitched. I hope you'll gather your supplies and get ready to stitch as we stitch this wonderful faux quilted sampler. Stay tuned for more blog posts and videos on this wonderful project.